Hello and welcome to Audionautic Deep Space Network, episode 26. Thank you for joining us, and if you are watching us live, please consider retweeting or sharing it, hitting the like. It all helps get our name out there and helps bring new viewers. Today we are talking about some music gear news, a couple of synths, and what's going on in the modular world, and then we'll be going over some Instagram guidelines they just released about the new Reels guidelines for getting on search and recommended, because Reels has recently merged with video and IGTV, if anybody even remembers what that was. So there's some new guidelines for getting in the search and the recommended and all that, so we'll be going over that briefly. My name is Sunwarper, and today I am joined by Eon Lake. How are you doing? Back after a quick respite. What's going on?
I'm good, yeah.
That's it? Just good?
And everything.
There you go. Any new gear?
No new gear, no.
Wow.
I actually ordered a pocket operator yesterday, so I surprisingly have some new gear.
Which one is that?
I got the 133, which is the 33, but it's the Street Fighter version. It was $10 cheaper, despite having some licensed Street Fighter samples in it, which I'll probably never use. But yeah, Hydro Fighter in the chat says, Curtis looks so rock with the hair down. But yeah, it looks really cool. I've been watching some videos. I wanted to try some new things with it. I'm really getting into samplers, so I was like, this little micro guy looks awesome.
I thought so, right, okay, yeah.
Did I hear correctly that maybe you have another sampler already? Is that something that you might have?
I might, yeah, I might. Maybe you can refer to what I'm talking about, what you're thinking about.
I can't remember, something like a 202 or something like that. Is that correct?
I think
something by Rowland or something?
Yeah, I mean, I've got something over here, like a Circuit Tracks, maybe. Doesn't have a number, but.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, I know.
I have a TR08. Is that the numerical value you're thinking of?
Perhaps, I can't remember. I just know you've never mentioned sampling before, so.
Or maybe it's this thing. I don't know.
Oh, that looks familiar.
Yeah, so I want to do something with two samplers, see what happens. But anyways, Eon, like, what have you been up to? How was the vacation?
Vacation was good. I took a few little toys with me.
Yeah.
I turned out not to have a huge amount of time for music.
I would hope not. You're on vacation. Relax.
Music never stops, dude. But you
got to hit those algorithms.
Live a bit of life in between to have something to write music about, I suppose. But yeah, I was mainly what I got out of it was working out some new workflows. I've got a few little apps on my phone that I like making weird noises with. Cool. The kind of weird noises that are actually useful, and thinking about how to get those into my samplers so that I can incorporate them. And because I don't know about you, but with these samplers, you've got to go and sample the stuff you get with them. I've been using the MPC Live again.
Oh, nice! I was going to ask you.
Away from the studio, it's downstairs in the living room. So if I get bored, I just fire that up.
There you go.
But the problem I have with it is everything you get with it is too produced, and you know.
Have you tried adding the grittiness?
Make your own sounds with it, and then it becomes a completely different beast if you sample all your own drums and whatnot. So I haven't done enough of that on it yet, but I do think I'll like it a lot more. But as far as it's a single box that I can do stuff on, and it's got lots of capacity and interfaces and whatnot. It's easy to get things on and off it.
That's cool.
So I'm going to start using it more.
Yeah.
But yeah, workflows for getting things off mobile devices onto samplers and things like that to get more ideas, sounds in, because I'm about to hit the last round of album stuff.
Ah, nice.
And I'm still in the idea creation stage. I mean, I've got something like 11 tracks sketched out, but
nice.
I haven't picked which ones I'm using yet, and I'm still putting things into them before I start beating away at them and carving things out and actually treating them as songs and writing parts on them and so on. So yeah, this is the last sort of ditch at that. But yeah, the other thing I've been doing is I've been trying to prepare myself mentally for recording sessions and for studio sessions. Something I've started doing a lot more because haven't had much time is just getting up here, having a stressful day, and then just, you know, dum. Why isn't amazing music happening? You know, and trying to actually break my state beforehand. So, you know, I do meditate sometimes, but been doing other things like reading about how when you play something like play guitar or drums or something like that, it uses a different area of your brain. It's helpful, actually. I find playing guitar and bass because I can't really do it very well. Something that stresses me a bit, but uses a different area of my brain just to break the state before I try and sit down and make music, because I've come to realize it's not particularly realistic to think you can pull yourself out of a screaming hell of a day and then go, right, beautiful music. Okay.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Well, that's cool.
Some sort of transition. So sometimes it's meditate, sometimes it's punch things, sometimes it's play drums, sometimes it's play guitar, but something to sort of try and move the brain out of doing mundane stuff into sort of trying to be some kind of arty prat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we all want to be arty prats at some point, but I think transition is always a good way to go. Like stepping off the bus and then trying to step into a car never really quite works. So you kind of got to move it through.
Yeah, that's true. And we've got some people in the chat. Hydro Fighter and Shady Ridge are here. How is everyone doing today? Let us know. And then also with me today is my Audionautic co-pilot, Curtis. How are you today? And how is Tina?
Tina's looking alright. She's chill. Like I literally fed her just before coming on, so she's
nice.
a bit sleepy.
Nice.
So she's okay. Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm good. I've been. It's all music in one hairstyle. Yeah. That's it. I mean, it's all about the hair. I don't actually have any talent. It's all about the hairstyle.
If you shaved your head, you'd lose all musical knowledge. The
Pretty
hair
much that.
retains all of it.
Pretty much. I'm basically like Samson. But yeah. Yeah, no, I'm good, man. I'm good. I went to a psytrance festival over the weekend. Came back from Sweden, and I went straight out again to a psytrance festival. And I have missed psytrance at dangerously high levels in my ears. I've missed it so much. I can't remember the last time I danced to psytrance, and it was amazing.
Nice.
So yeah, I went to.
Do some.
Well, I'm thinking about it. I always get distracted. I messaged you over the weekend, Ian Lake, and I was like, okay, there's this band that I saw. So there's one live band that I saw, and it was like 180, 190 BPM, and they had a drummer, percussionist, a handpan guy, and a didgeridoo guy, and they were making like this really weird, almost like drum and bass breakbeat kind of tribally kind of bops for like an hour straight.
I feel like it wouldn't be the same without the didgeridoo. It would be missing something.
Well, exactly. The didgeridoo really like pulled it together.
It
was
grounds
like
you.
Yeah, totally. I'm big. You laugh, but yeah, totally. That's what it really was.
No, I'm sure it does. Just the thought of this didgeridoo just grounding you while everything's going on around
it's going haywire. And it's like it's muddy, it's wet. It's like 2:00 in the morning, and it's basically the dance floor is a mud pit, and you're just kind of like jumping across, and people are going schizo. Like you can't tell the difference between it could be people dancing or it could be zombies gyrating to the mess, And it was insane. I was like, this needs to be more of a thing, because it turns out it's like a couple of musicians who just collaborate. It's not like a band, and I couldn't find references anywhere. So I'm like, right, I need to find someone who can play 180, 190 BPM constantly, and I'll add some stuff to it essentially. So then I hit up Eon Lake, and I was like, oi. You play drums? Do you want to play drums really fast?
I'll slower and then speed it up.
That'll do. So yeah, we'll see. I've been trying to come back and finish. I've got 2 more tracks on the album to finish up.
Nice.
And
making progress then.
I just keep getting distracted, and I keep doing different things. So I keep going to Ableton and go, today I'm going to do this instead. So
didgeridoo time.
Exactly. So we'll get on there. But that's what I've been doing. What about you, mate? What have you been up to?
Musically, not a whole lot. I'm still trying to get back into the swing of things after being on the honeymoon and gone for a couple weeks.
How's the hand wrist?
Wrist is actually getting better. It's not quite there, but I think all the time off has really helped. And I still haven't played guitar yet, and that's partly why. I've been doing one thing instead of playing synths or pianos like for a long time. I've been trying to just sample small bits either onto the computer or on the SP or something. So I'm still practicing, but then the bulk of the time is just hitting like a little pad, so it's not stressing the wrist. But it seems to be doing better. Hopefully I can start doing like compressive things with it again and playing guitar. We'll see. Hopefully soon is what I mean. But yeah, that, and then just been thinking about some interesting ideas of like sampler related things. I like you were saying, Curtis, I want to get some drummers to do some drums or something and try to like put that in the sampler and do stuff. So maybe Eon, like, you might be getting a message from me as well. You're in demand as a session drummer for Audionautic, apparently. But yeah, that's about it. Yeah, that's about it.
What we need. Well, we should probably say that the fact that this stream is brought to you by our patrons, and we thank you, and thank you very much for your support. We love it. If you yourself wanted to consider, that is the best way to put it. I can't put a better way than that. Yeah. If you yourself fancy and like what we're doing, consider giving us a pledge on Patreon. Pledges start at $2 a month, I think, and you get from $5 you get early access to things. For example, we have a brand new Binary Stars coming out this Saturday, and yesterday we put up the early access, so people on Patreon already have access to our Binary Stars episode for this month.
Yeah, and real quick, Binary Stars is our once monthly, for now, twice monthly, soon to be radio show where Curtis and I talk about some songs off of our Audionautic radio playlist, which you can find in the description, and then we talk about 2 songs that we've been influenced by or are inspired by lately. It's a lot of fun, and we talk about like why we're feeling the song or whatever have you, and we'd love if you check it out. It's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and on our YouTube. But yes, patrons get early access to it, and episode 5 is up now for you to check out if you're on Patreon.
Before we sidle on into the news, I think we need to address the elephant in the room, and understand that I missed the wardrobe news memo for today. The two of you looking rather sprightly, and then I'm
surprised, because usually you and I just accidentally wear the same clothes, or same shirt. Not same shirt, but same colored shirt. But today you missed.
If we were wearing the same clothes, I'd be a bit concerned.
Well, yeah, that would be a bit concerning, because we're quite far away from each other. So that maybe, I mean, who knows how that would work. But you missed a beat, man.
I did. I mean, what can I say? I'm always the rebel. Let's do things my own way.
Yeah, like you should show your shirt really fast, because mine's just a plain blue shirt, but he's got something.
My music shirt.
Yeah, look at that.
Hey, look at that. That's cool. That guy's happier than I have ever been in my entire life. Yeah, that's what you need.
I think it'll have a positive effect on my mood, and I'm not going to grump and groan on this show too much.
No rants today, huh? Sorry, Chad.
No promise.
Let's see where we're at after the match.
Yeah, let's get into the news then. Maybe there's some ranting. I think he'll have some ranting to do with the Instagram news, but that's at the end of the show.
People are very grateful that Sunwarper is here to explain all the twists and turns that they keep taking.
I thought you were going to be say you were grateful for me handling the video stream this week.
I mean, you know.
We'll get there.
We're not that much to look at, but it's better than a black screen.
Shady Rich says he has a Sunwarper shirt on today. Nice. Yeah, I'll as the album comes closer, I'll have some new merch coming with the new logo and everything. But that's awesome, Shady. Thank you, and I appreciate it.
Speaking of merch, obviously last week we announced that we have got our first batch of Audionautic merch incoming for the for the 2nd of September, Bandcamp Friday. We will be putting our brand new Eco Tees out for the first time.
You want to pull it up real fast? It's just so gorgeous, you know.
Do I have it here?
I'm sure it's in the drive. I think.
If you can keep the air talking for a couple
I'll
of
keep
seconds.
the air talking. I'm just rambling about whatever. SP404, SP303. Eon Lake could rant about Instagram. I mean, you know, we could do this for days. Eon Lake, how come you don't have any bleeps and bloops on the modular today?
Have you seen what's happened to the energy prices in the UK?
Oh, we'll get there in a second.
No, but that is part of the news. Yeah, I haven't. It's really hot today. I should mention, I apologize for the air conditioner being on if you're hearing like a hum. It's, I think, supposed to be 100 degrees Fahrenheit, so whatever that is in Celsius.
Whatever that is to the rest of the world.
It's not pleasant. Let me just say it's not pleasant. Let's put it that way.
Maybe you need one of these in your life. This is the Eco Tee that we.
The black color might be very bad for the heat, though.
It also does come in white.
There we go.
We're doing black and white because they are Eco Tees. They won't be the cheapest T-shirts around, but it will be environmentally friendly. It will be made from sustainable materials, and that is something that we're trying to.
It's important.
Maybe.
One more time.
Eco-friendly inks, maybe.
Eco-friendly inks and all that stuff, exactly. So. it is good for the environment. So it supports everyone, the environment, the music, the people on the roster, the label, Sound Phaser, FCC, etc., which is really nice. So there's the front, and then if you look at the back here, we have our logo. Make it sound logo motto.
Motto, logo. The logo's on the front. The motto's on the back. Yeah. Don't worry, I got you covered.
So yeah, they'll go on Friday the 2nd. They'll be up for Bandcamp Friday. I feel like that means we're real and legit now that we have some merchandise. Because obviously, if you don't sell t-shirts,
what is real though?
Oh, here we go. He's had a coffee and now he's going philosophical.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Welcome to our existential section.
Yeah.
Exactly. Let's quickly and swiftly move on. Tina jumped off at that last comment. So I think
she was like, I'm out of here. What's real? This is too deep for me.
Let's go on with it. Let's start with gear, because come on, let's face it, we all love a bit of gear. So going straight to Synthopia, I think Sunwarper, you put this in the chat, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
So tell us all about this. I'm not going to play the video.
I wasn't super familiar. I just saw that it's an analog synth. I think it's 2 oscillators, a mono synth. But when Eon Lake plays it, you'll see why I wanted to put it. This thing is gritty. And I think if you scroll down, it might be... I think it's like Eurorack friendly or semi-modular or something to that effect. It's not super big either. And it's only, I think, €579. Probably near equivalent in US dollars and whatever have you. But yeah, there it is. 2 analog oscillators, LFO, 2 EGs, VCF, VCA, and it has a latching arpeggio or arpeggiator. Yeah. Very cool stuff. And then Eon Lake, if you can play some of those sounds.
Yeah, I mean, you might read that spec list and think, yeah, so it's a mono synth. But then, if you hear this, and then,
just listen to that.
That's nice.
Analog goodness.
Oh, feel that breeze.
It's
yeah, I mean, it's massive sounding.
So I mean, was that the MS-20 that you were playing there, Howard?
No, that was this.
You've got. Oh, I missed that beat. So this is actually that.
No, he's just playing the video. I think he's just sharing the audio. Yeah.
This is about the time that I went outside for people viewing. This is when I went outside to top up my cup of tea.
Yes,
so yeah,
our advanced prep of 15 minutes before the show. Yeah, no, it just looks like a really sick synth. I'd love to get some samples of it, quite frankly, to put on the SP or something, or have it. But I'm not buying anything at the moment besides that pocket operator. But love to hear in the chat. Is anybody interested in getting a synth, and what do you think about that price point? I personally think that price point is incredible for what it's giving you.
580 €580. Yeah.
For a pure analog mono synth, that's pretty
It's
reasonable.
It's like tea money for you, isn't it?
With buttons. But what everyone really looks for is, especially an analog boutique analog synth, is character.
Yeah.
I mean, the Moog stuff has character. The MS-20,
Dreadlocks.
because it's filthy, it's dirty. You can get some, squawky, squarpy tones out of it.
Yeah.
And that thing is just plain rude.
Yeah.
It is.
I think I put Malevolent, not just a name. This thing is gritty in the the drive. I was just listening to like 10 seconds Eon Lake played. I was like, sold. This is gnarly. I love that sound. Yeah.
I went from completely uninterested to hello.
So by next week we'll hear. So I bought the PWM Malevolent.
There we go. Yeah.
No way.
I mean,
Put your bets in the
can't
chat
lose
group.
Yeah. How many weeks until Eon Lake buys it?
Yeah.
That's what we have to see.
I'm offering odds on that.
I feel like we're going to get a tweet tomorrow, 8 a.m. Bought it in the basket. Gonna be done. We'll have to see. You can't beat a decent analog synth. Like they just, like you say, there's so much character to them, and each one is a little bit different. And like, I was talking to the guys at work about this because we use a lot of MIDI and we use a lot of plugins at work. And I was like, you just can't beat just that grittiness of a.
There's also just something about the tactile nature of hardware. I mean, it could be digital. It could even be like I know Hydro Fighter connects his digital synths to things and stuff like that, and it's kind of the same thing. But there's something to be said about having something in front of you that's not just on the computer screen. That really, at least for me, brings out way more ideas.
Yeah, touch something, hear a change. You feel connected to what's going on.
Monkey twist knob, monkey hear sound, monkey happy. Yeah.
Our chimp brains, right? Yeah.
Exactly. It's what it is, It's what it is. In other news, we have the latest from Amazon Music, which is quite an interesting little justification, I feel.
Yeah.
You're wondering whether or not Amazon Music's still a thing.
It is.
Yeah, well,
apparently there are dozens of listeners. No, I'm just kidding. So the Amazon for Artists has been around for a while. It's a free app on iOS. It's probably on Android too. Worth getting just to have it. You can pitch your songs on there, but the nice thing about it is you can pitch up to 2 weeks after release, unlike Spotify where it has to be 7 days before or longer. But the new thing that they added, I got an email and wanted to share it, and it's at the bottom there. Speak to your fans. You could now record, I think it's up to 15 seconds of audio. You can either record it on the app through your phone, or you can upload audio that you recorded, like with a microphone and such. But it plays before the song plays. Now, in theory, I think that's really cool. Because, yeah, you got a quick little, you can say, hey, this is Sunwarper, this is my new song, thanks for listening, or something. Yeah, that's great. But if it's playing every single time the person is clicking the song, that's, at least if I was listening, I'd get kind of annoyed. Like, just get to the song already.
It's like an ad, isn't it? It's like the beginning of an ad.
It is an ad, basically. Yeah. I think in one aspect it helps humanize, because this is streaming, someone just clicks play, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. But now they're hearing your voice. They're hearing, oh, a human, yeah, they made it great. And then, like, connecting you. But, yeah, if it's playing, and I'm not sure, it might only play the first time they do it or the first time per day they listen, were someone listening multiple times. But I thought it was interesting. I posted it in the Patreon Twitter group, which is another perk if you join our Patreon, patreon.com/audionautic. You can check out our Twitter group where we talk about all this kind of stuff. But I just wanted to get your guys' take on it. What do you think about having like a quick audio blurb before the track? And chat, feel free to chime in. I'd love to hear your take as well.
Lake, you go first. Put you on the spot. Go.
I mean, yeah. If I say this is a song about banging your face against the wall,
the Eon Lake special.
You're gonna have to hear that every time.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I like to hear the people who make the music say something.
Yeah.
I like to hear something about it, without necessarily explaining everything about it, but to give you an idea of what motivated them. But yeah, sometimes you do just want to listen to it. So I think it all depends on the context. I think context is everything here. How much we're going to have to hear it and
go from there.
Yeah.
Real quick, Andrew is in the chat. He says, hey guys, just saying hello. Hope the show is going well. Well, we're happy to have you here. It's better
Thanks
with
for
you
tuning
here.
in.
Yeah. How are you doing today? How's the DistroKid upload going? I'll get back to you on IG about that later.
Cool.
Yeah. Curtis, what is your thought on it?
In a similar vein, I like the idea of not breaking it. Well, I suppose it is like breaking the fourth wall in a way. It's kind of like reaching directly out to people who might be vibing with the work that you do.
Yeah.
Again, if it happens at the start of every track, I mean, I get sick of my own voice. I'm pretty sure people get sick of mine after a while. I just think there are better ways to do it in this day and age. Like, I get it. Okay, a 14-second audio. And I don't want to be too dismissive, you know me, but like a 14-second audio isn't going to tell much. And I feel like, people, I feel like there's better ways to do it in a way. I think let the music speak for itself. If they like you, they'll find you on your socials, because unless you don't have socials, obviously. But if you don't have socials, maybe you're not so fussed about a voice message. I don't know. But I would rather talk to people and say hi. I'm Curtis, and I've got some wacky ideas. You do too. Let's be friends. That's just kind of like. Incidentally, that's what I do on Instagram quite a lot. So.
Well, I believe there's one thing I also wanted to mention, because I talked on the Twitter group that I think Spotify through Anchor, which is how we upload our podcast to Spotify and Apple Podcasts, but I believe they have this hybrid sort of playlist podcast function where you can create a playlist of, let's say you make an album, right? You can create a playlist of the album, and in between each track or whatever separation you want to do, you could have like a quick or however long podcast of you explaining or talking about the track. So you could have like a track by track analysis in between each track.
I mean, that's lovely. That would be a great bonus. Like if you That'd be a great thing to say. Like again, if we talk about Bandcamp exclusives, but that might be a really nice kind of like Spotify exclusive. Like Chili Peppers did that quite a bit for Stadium Arcadium.
Yeah.
I'd love it. I mean, that'd be great. I mean, yeah, that would be a much better way of doing it.
Ian, like, what do you think about that?
I think you're right. You're giving me ideas. I think bonus stuff on Bandcamp that talks you through it, almost like director's commentary on DVDs or stuff.
Yeah.
Form,
Yeah.
You know, when for those that are interested, and you can not listen to it if you're not interested. If you see what I mean. Something as easy to avoid or listen to as you will. That isn't too self-indulgent or too long, but actually, allows you to. Because my theory is always, in whatever you do on social media and all the rest of it, is to be a real person.
Yeah. Very rare, apparently.
And be genuine, and and try not to, be vacuous and say all the things that people say that don't mean anything.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good way to sort of do that if that's what you're about.
Yeah.
So, I'd like the idea of bonus content on Bandcamp, for people who are genuinely interested to know a little bit more. Try not to bore them, but provide something at the same time.
I get it, yeah. Like, I mean, I think the I always said that streaming services are like the heroin, try before you buy kind of thing. Like, that's how people find you, then you get hooked, and then you go to their Bandcamp and you buy stuff. That's just how it works. So like, that's how the conversion rate goes. It's not the other way around. You don't like fall in love necessarily with people on. I mean, you might do, but I mean,
freebase later,
I mean, maybe a nicer or more pleasant analogy would be it's like a free little taste of ice cream before you get the ice cream you want.
You could, but that's got no shock value. That's got no shock value. Like, yeah, you know me, mate. Drama.
Yeah.
Rock hair today, so you get the edgy stuff.
Exactly. If you're not addicted to heroin while you listen to it, no, I won't do that. But it's fine.
Man,
it is
more rich apparently.
Maybe. It is 2044, so I feel like we have got time. Do we got time for both of our last few seconds? We've got time for one.
I forgot what they are, so let's just go with both. Let's go through it quick.
Let's go with that. So, all right, let's go with the latest from Euro Rack and WMD.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about this.
Yeah.
Okay, that week. Oh, I feel like a rant might be coming on from Eon Lake.
Well, I think both bits of news may, or they might be somewhat connected. I don't know. With the second,
let's find out.
You say, I mean, global part shortage and so on seems to have hit WMD, who are makers of pedals and Eurorack gear that they've always done in house. I mean, Eurorack is a real cottage industry anyway, but they've announced that. They're shutting shop. They're winding everything down. So the good news is that there's 20 or 30% off everything in their store at the moment that is still in stock. But they are winding down and eventually closing down. As they say at the bottom there, they hope it's not a goodbye and just a see you later, and they'd like to come back further down the road. But at the moment, they've got parts shortages that mean certain things, some parts could take a year to arrive and so on, so that they just don't even know if they can get the things to make the stuff they've designed and whatnot. It's all a bit sad. They've got people that they employ and everything is made in-house that they're, having to let go, and they're doing their best to do that responsibly. And if you read the actual announcement itself, the stress of what they've been doing and trying to keep it running is evident. So my heart goes out to them, really. I completely understand what they're doing, but it's a shame. They're good. They made interesting stuff. They're part of what I think is a creative side of equipment and manufacture. Like I say, I mean, the Eurorack stuff particularly is a bit of a cottage industry. It's a lot of free thinkers in there that have managed to carve a niche for themselves. But unfortunately, some of the global issues going on make them vulnerable, and not everyone is necessarily going to be able to ride out the storm. So sad to see them go. Nice to see you can get some bargains, particularly if you are US based. And I hope to see them again one day in the future. Hope it all works out for them. Shame.
Yeah, that's quite a bummer.
It is, yeah. So I mean, it's always a shame to see these kind of these, like I say, cottage industry, which is a great way of putting it, little things get affected by what's been going on in the last couple of years, and we're still feeling the effects. I mean, it
Because
creates
people actually do a bit Me Too, can't they? I mean, everybody's putting out the same equipment with the same spec, which is what I originally thought when Sunwarper first mentioned that mono synth. But when I heard it, I thought, okay, all right, it's got a sound of its own.
Kind of reminded me of Dreadbox. I know we're on a different topic now, but that one kind of they all have their own sounds.
Exactly, and you know, this is where I think people's thinking is a little bit more creative and a little more divergent, and they come up with some right wacky stuff that is new and, you know, comes up with new possibilities and so on. And I don't like to think of any of that disappearing, really, but, you know, things are what they are.
Yeah.
But
hopefully it's not farewell, as they said. Maybe they can make it back if things ease up and, you know.
Yeah.
Fairly not. I've just seen Hydrofighter enter the lobby. Now, Hydrofighter, I'm going to have to deny your entry for a second because I've got one more piece of news to share. But savage, and I feel like such a dick.
No, we'll have you on in a second, Hydrofighter.
I'm going to deny your entry right now, but obviously next time, I'll let you in. I just got one more. It grazed everything out, so I can't do it. Our last piece of the news for itself, another piece of depressing news, and one that is being felt across the world. Thanks for the thing that we have here. Music industry warns that the UK music studios could close without energy bill support. Did you put this in the chat?
I did, yeah. So, I mean, for those not UK based, there's a quite a cost of living crisis going on in the UK at the moment, and a large part of that is soaring energy bills, and I mean really soaring, over 300% increases in a year, and more on the horizon and so on. Which is it's a lot for people at home and so on. The government are being forced to look at what they can do to support. This is the music industry saying, hello, you know, we use energy too, and in fact, you know, our energy usage is going through the roof. We can't actually get a quote on some places for an energy supply at all. Some places, you know, it's an extra £9,000 a month. You know, it's just absolute madness. I mean, so there's a lot of warnings coming from not just music studios, but also venues, a lot of venues, saying that, you know, if the government doesn't extend whatever they're going to do to try and mitigate this incredible rise in energy bills, they're going to have to close, because it literally makes businesses non-viable. You know, on a non-music front, it's affecting pubs and restaurants as well. Loads of them are saying that they'll be non-viable without this being controlled in some way. But I mean, this is the news that, you know, major studios and music venues, big music venues, might have to close if something isn't done.
I mean, it's an awful precedent. It's happening on this side of the channel as well. And have you got a cost of living energy crisis where you are, Sunwarper?
I mean, there's bad inflation, so yeah.
I do, yeah. I mean, I really feel sorry for the CEOs of the energy companies, because they must be really feeling it if this is happening. I mean, sorry, one more time.
Apparently they're not, though, are they?
I mean, I feel like if we're being affected by the energy crisis, the people at the very top are also being affected by the energy crisis. I
don't think that's how it usually works, unfortunately.
It's a shame. But yeah, I mean, it's similar here. We have. I don't think we're quite at 300%, but it's coming through, and the energy is getting ridiculous. The cost of utilities and stuff is ridiculous, and it only makes sense that the guys who do this on a commercial basis, i.e. the venues, they're going to be hit very hard in its own right.
This is why my Euro rack is off. That's my boom controller. An eye on the power switches. Make sure nobody throws those switches but me. But I'm not drunk at the time when I do it.
Yeah, those synths take a lot of power.
I dread to think. I'm hoping to see a big dip in usage.
Use the samplers more, man. Battery operated.
Is the Euro? Okay, all right. In terms of I'm curious. In terms of Eurorack's consumption of energy, is it efficient? Is it not efficient? Is it?
I'm not inclined to think it's particularly efficient.
Right.
I mean, it gets a bit warm.
That's saying something about you.
Warm's never a good sign of energy efficiency, is it? It means you're losing a load of energy to heat.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not particularly efficient. And when there's I've only got 3 power supplies powering my Eurorack.
Only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put it this way, I'm switching everything off, you know.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely a way to mitigate some of the costs.
Very much
right?
so. Let's move across. Hydra Fighter has just entered the lobby once again. Thank you.
He's
very
back.
much, Hydra
No
Fighter. He's
rejection
back.
this time, Steve.
No, not at all. It pains me every time. Like, it just pains me. But we'll get him in. We'll see how he's at, and then we'll move across the round robin. This is the part in the show where our patrons, we invite our patrons to come on. So again, if you want to be on Patreon, you get the Google Meet link for this, and then you come on and have a chat and talk about stuff. And yeah, if that's something you're into, let's have a look. For now, let's bring Hydra Fighter in, shall we?
Yeah.
Let's go. The black screen death. We got a muted microphone. Here he is. Hi, Hydra Fighter. How you doing, man?
Hey guys, you guys have some pretty cheery topics today. Not for sure if it's like a case of too much whiskey, but I prefer the people who get all like "I love you, man" when they're drunk. So.
How's your week been, Hydra Fighter? What's been going on?
Pretty good. I'm working on a VCV rack template in Ableton. So just kind of doing some cleaning house. As you might suspect that when you're working with virtual modular, things can get really messy really easily. So I'm cleaning out the crap.
There you go. That's the Hydra Fighter motto for the week: cleaning out
the crap. I like
That's
that.
it, man.
I like that.
I think my motto this week is just taking names and kicking ass.
and cleaning out the crap.
And cleaning out
I think
the
you need
crap.
that.
I have to ask, is that cleaning out the crap? Is that instead of a C, is that a K? Because I could get on board with that. Like cleaning.
For
K.
you, it would be a K.
You know,
But I think for us normal people on Earth, it's C.
C is the most useless letter in the alphabet.
It is a K. It is a K. But the I's are ones too.
Even better, bro.
Yeah.
You're taking too many cues from Curtis, and that's Q with the K. See, we can be cheery. It might be dystopian a bit, but we can get some cheery moments in there.
We can go. So yeah, all right, we're here. It is 54 minutes past the hour. We've got a short round robin and quite a bit of marketing. Let's see how much we can get through. But as you're here, I wanted to bring it back. Okay, so we're producers, musicians, and we spend a lot of our time either in Ableton or Logic or whatever it is you use. We sit and we make stuff and we create. I was chatting to J-Bo in the studio today, during the week, sorry. And we were both talking about the fact that we produce and we kind of do things day to day, and then kind of came to the conclusion that we really we miss playing live. We really miss playing live in the sense, like, growing up, I was in bands as a kid, and I still enjoy playing live every so often. And I just wanted to kind of go on a bit of a nostalgia trip, I suppose. We've all been live musicians at a certain point and done stuff, and I kind of just wanted to have a quick kind of memorial, or so to speak, of kind of playing live, how we play live as our monikers as we are now, or previous times and stuff like that. I wanted to hear your stories and hear your thoughts about whether or not playing live is something that's still important to you, whether or not it's something that you miss or something that you're looking to do in the future. Because I was feeling nostalgic this week, as they say. Yeah. I'll be curious, Hydra Fighter, what's your background, and is it something that you miss at all?
It is something that I miss to a certain extent. What I miss is actually playing in front of people, being in, going through the PA, having that crowd response. What I don't miss is hauling gear and starting gigs late, getting home late. But I think the world's changed a lot with COVID, and a lot of the live things have really gone to a video format in a way.
Yeah.
And I see myself going more that direction for live performances, just because I don't think there's a scene so much in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area for the type of music that I do to make it worthwhile, I guess. It'd probably be like going to a coffee shop and playing something for a free cup of coffee, and I don't know if I get my kicks off that, and probably playing through a stereo speaker system instead of a full-blown PA. But if the opportunity arises, I'll jump all over it. But I think my goal is to kind of go more video oriented.
So would you? Have you started making tracks towards that? As in, like, have you got a setup or anything like that, or is that still?
Yeah, I have. I've done some things in the past, not too deep, but I think everything I do going forward with these templates, they're designed to do everything live. So I think everything that you going forward. Now I might write songs where I might have things queued up a little bit more easily to put on an album, but in a live environment, I would let it develop slowly and build everything out in real time.
I do that. Yeah, that's what you need.
Yeah.
That sounds very nice. If people in the chat, if we'd like to know as we're chatting, people in the chat as we're chatting, it'd be nice to know where you're at with this, if there's something you're interested in. What about you, Ian?
I think I think Mr. Fighter hit the magic button there with the whole PA thing. I mean, you know, I'd like to hear my music on a much bigger scale.
So it's all or nothing. Go big or go home, basically.
Yeah. Well, I would, you know. I mean, I'm a drummer, so I mean, you know, I remember the first time I played live and I was sound checking. The first time I heard my kick drum going through a PA, and it's like, oh yes, at last, this is fantastic. Ironically, I couldn't hear myself play that gig, and I was playing way too hard, got sweaty hands, and kept dropping sticks and stuff, you know, which is something that you do when you can't hear yourself. It tends to make you play even harder, and I didn't really need to do that particularly. But yes, it's something that's on my mind. I think I've, you know, having tried to put something together for the Foxfest thing, that was always in my head. That's sort of like informing how I'm going to try and design a live set for actually playing to people in the flesh, assuming we still have venues to play in. But yeah, I kind of miss the excitement beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of miss getting lost in performing something during, and I kind of miss the sort of the come down afterwards and everything, and the hearing everything coming out of a PA and it being, you know, real and out there in the world like other people, you know, performing music, you know. And if I have to hear so and so singing karaoke in a pub, you know, and you know some of the things that you hear coming out of pubs late at night, you know, if that is okay, then what I do surely is okay, right? It's got to be somewhere where it can be heard at high volume if we're going to listen to people who can't singing drunk. So yeah, and it is something that I would like to do. It's something that I've got my mind on, and in the music that I'm creating now, I've kind of got half a mind on thinking, well, how would you do this live? What would go into the sampler? What would you play live? What do you want to get out of a live set? As in, you know, do you want to perform something? Do you want risk? Do you want the ability to make mistakes and screw things up? You know, the rest of it. Do you want to mix? Do you want to play? Do you want to do more than one instrument? How would you do that? Would you do different things on different songs? All of this stuff whistles around my head when I'm noodling around. And I'm trying to get things a little bit more organized so that sort of thing would be easier. But I still think the way that I would be doing it is recording music just as it is, without trying to put any restraints on it, but with a mind as to how I would pull it together to perform it live. And I think a lot of the ambient layers and all of the other stuff could be dropped down into samples and bounced and whatnot. Yeah. And it's just the key stuff that, you know, I'll be performing, and I can still change the arrangements and so on that way. So yeah, it's definitely on my mind. I do miss doing it for a number of reasons. And it's just, I did it for years when I had no transport or anything, a load of gear to cart around. Did it the hard way. I've got a car I can fit my stuff in now. I could drive myself here, play a gig, drive myself home, you know. It would just be perverse not to do it now. And I've done it the hard way when I was a kid for years.
That makes sense. Yeah, completely. I mean, now you've got the ability to do it. If you miss it, you kind of won't do. I mean, because Sunwarper, you teased the idea of doing something a bit more doorless moving forward. Is that part of any of this? Do you wanna...
Yeah, I mean, I was just starting to play live shows right before that whole thing in 2020. I did a show, and then I did a radio performance, and then everything shut down. It was like, great. So I haven't really figured out, and then I moved, so I haven't really figured out where, if anywhere around here, I could play some stuff. There are some coffee shops that I was thinking of maybe doing something, but as Hydro Fighter was mentioning, I'm thinking of kind of converting to some like live stream type live performances. And I mentioned last week about the whole concept I'm sketching out for next year, and I want everything to be kind of this holistic thing. So there'll be live streams of performances, and there'll be DAW-less stuff. Like, it's all one thing: the DAW-less stuff, the live streams, the song creation, the performance and release of the song. So kind of all one big thing. So hopefully, yeah, there'll be some live performances, and then I'm thinking about filming some like DJ sets out in a park or something. So yeah,
that's what you need. Yeah, just one tree, just under one tree.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's the way I see it.
Who needs two?
I don't know why. Yeah, why have two trees when you just have one?
Yeah, exactly. One's all you need, man. But yeah, I mean, in terms of like nostalgia, I really miss, I think Hydro Fighter, you mentioned it, but vibing off the crowd, you know, seeing what's working, what's not. And it's also a good metric of, like, if you're writing a song and you play it live, what parts are catching people's attention? Is it catching people's attention? I mean, yeah, you don't want to write for people typically, but it's nice to just know like what other people are vibing with, because of course most likely you're vibing with your own stuff because you're in the middle of making it, so it's just a little objective viewpoint.
The human interaction is important, and a great way to market yourself too, because you get the ability to talk to your fans directly, face to face.
But if I was being honest, what I really miss is just when I go on stage. Like, I have horrible anxiety before a show starts, and like, you know, the whole lead up into a show, weeks, months, whatever. But once I start playing, like, everything goes blank, and I'm literally just in the moment completely. Like, I won't even remember the performance afterwards. I'm just that locked in that one moment, and I love that. So, yeah.
I think Eon nailed something too by the ability to make mistakes, because I always thought playing live, the fun part of it was making those mistakes, but how fast you could recover from them.
Yeah.
It's like a test, or like testing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's real, though.
Yeah, completely.
David's in the chat. What's going on? How are you, David?
Hello. Thanks for tuning in. Nice to see you. Thank you very much. We're chatting about playing live, whether or not you miss it, or whether or not it's something that you're interested in. Yeah.
I think that means it's your turn, Curtis.
Yeah. Don't just jump. You gotta play it.
You gotta spill your guts first.
I gotta feel your guts. No. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I miss playing. I think I miss playing in a band. I think I really enjoy. Obviously, I started Curtis before it was Curtis. It was another thing, and I started it as a reaction to the fact that I was getting playing in a band, but I wanted to do my own stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in like a rock band, and then I wanted to do like trip hop, electronica stuff. So I was like, so I was like, okay, I'll do that. And now I'm doing this, and this is the only thing I do. My band broke up, but then I'm coming back to it now, and I'm like, I miss that kind of like. I miss the packing the stuff in the van, the camaraderie, the kind of working out, writing together, that kind of thing. It's why I do so many collabs, because I enjoy writing with other people.
Yeah.
And it's not the same, but it's kind of similar. It's the same but different. You know? Yeah. And I really enjoy that aspect of it. I also really enjoy like metal and thrash and just the heavier side of things, and I just really kind of want to, you know, when you're putting away a riff and stuff like that. There's that aspect of playing that I kind of miss as well, just that kind of like head banging on the thing, that kind of thing. Being the metalhead that I am. It's something I'd like to get back into. I'm not that interested in making Curtis go live as such. Since I've started playing around with the DJ decks, I think especially I'm quite happy to play other people's songs. I'm not very good at self-promotion, basically. So I like this space. This is mine. I do my thing. A bit like Eon, like go meditate, get into a good space, and do my thing. You know.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the stage, I wanna get my lag arcane with my EMGs and like just do dive bombs with the Floyd Rose. That's what I want.
Yeah, there's nothing like that with the shred, man, just going up and yeah. Over in the chat, Andrew says, definitely miss playing live as well. Became much more of a challenge once I had kids, even pre-COVID. Got into electronic music a bit more in part as it seemed more manageable with kids. Yeah. And I mean, electronic music can be done live, and there's like Hydro Fighter was saying with not lugging gear. I mean, my last 2 shows, I had a computer, a guitar, and a big sky pedal. And the computer did all the backup or backing tracks. I had a MIDI keyboard too because I was triggering MIDI and stuff like that. But the computer did everything, and then the pedal was just for the guitar to have a little bit more of a sound. And then we also have Shady Ridge saying, definitely miss playing in a band, but would only like to gig once in a while. Yeah, it's stressful, it's time consuming, and yeah. I mean, I think touring would be rough, but micro tours would be fun.
I wouldn't mind seeing a Kindly Spoken Thieves gig though. I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I'd love to
you know
see
what,
that.
Curtis? We'll come play your house. We'll come play at your
house party
your house for a measly $30,000.
I'd love to see that. If I had $30,000, I think that's exactly where I spend it. To be honest.
I think KST's going that direction too. I'd like to go that direction. I think Josh is on board with it too.
Well,
so,
Shady's here. What do you think, Shady?
Yeah, Shady. Is this news to you? Because this is news to us.
He's probably like, what?
And I think we'll do some video type of stuff just to try it out and see what
cool.
happens. And if we have an opportunity to gig, I think we'll take advantage of it.
Nice.
Very good.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about Shady Ridge and the roster and how many are Minnesota based, or where you could,
Festival.
if there was a scene, sort of create your own scene in the sense of like, get a few bands to play together, put something on. So ignore the fact there isn't a scene. Make the scene.
Yeah.
I think and there are people in town who do somewhat similar stuff, but it just goes back to that. All right, I'm setting up at 10 o'clock at night to play at 11 o'clock at night. I got to work the next day. That thing, and I'm not getting any younger. And Red Bull can only do so much.
5-hour energy, man. I hate those energy drinks, dude. They don't work for me. I just go right to sleep.
Well, I have the opposite effect on you. Wow, that's an interesting one. There you are, especially
now not as much, but I remember in college when I tried to pull all-nighters, I would chug, a 5-hour energy or something, and I'd just start typing the whole night.
It's just not gonna work.
They work for me if I mix them with tequila, but don't work out what happens.
Depressants and stimulants are great.
All I'm saying is when I go to sleep.
What a great damage. What stimulants?
Shady said might have to be a day gig.
Yeah. Might have to be a day gig, yeah. We'd love to know what stimulants you guys are using in the chat to stay awake through your long sessions.
Yeah, what would you need to get to a gig you played on now? Is it the same as last time? How would your rider have changed?
That should be on a t-shirt. Yeah. I'll have a look at that before we go live on Friday. Thank you very much for sharing your stories and your ideas, gentlemen. I love tripping down on where we're going to go
on
live.
Anything.
Well, yeah. I mean, there is that. But yeah, let's move across. We're at 10 minutes past the second hour, so let's go through. Let's go back into our first marketing one we've had in a while. I didn't think we did marketing last week, did we?
We may have briefly done it. I don't know, but that was the celebration of 2 years of Audionautic and us both coming back from some vacation time and such. So
it was. That was a very special episode. If you like this episode, go back and have a look, because that was a good episode. That was just the two of us.
Yeah, it's here on YouTube, and it will also be on. Well, it is already up on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And while you're there, if you'd like to help us, either leave a like on YouTube or a rating on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. It helps a ton.
That was smooth. Yeah, that in its own right, that deserves a review just for that. That was
yeah, maybe review our segues. Just write a review all about our segues. That might work.
I can go board with that. Let's move across. Let's start with the thing from Insta, seeing as that is in our title for this week, and it's probably the biggest bit of news. Sunwarper, take it away, bro.
Yeah. So this, as is typical with the Instagram head. He usually posts his reels all about like social media stuff right before we go live. So I saw this and he was talking about getting on. So Instagram has a recommendations section, and they're now saying that, I don't know if you remember a few weeks back, but the feed on Instagram had become almost all recommendations. And he and Instagram is saying that, oh, we're seeing friends interacting more on stories, so we want the feed, you know, when you're just on Instagram scrolling, to be all recommendations so you can discover new people. And they're supposedly boosting smaller creators, as they call them, you know, under whatever metric of followers and likes and such. That all got... They stopped doing all those huge changes that they were doing, and I think they're going to slowly implement stuff again, but as they figure it out, because there was a lot of controversy. But they're still doing these recommendations on your feed. It's probably like every 2 or 3 posts you'll see recommendations, and it's people you don't follow or may have never interacted with. But they posted these guidelines about recommendations and how to get on it as a creator, but I didn't get to read all of it because, like I said, it was posted before, so I will talk about that next week. But the big thing is something that I've been noticing and talking about on ADSN recently, ever since Reels merged IGTV videos and Reels all into one type of video format. So Reels is all vertical videos, 9:16. And whenever I would post something that wasn't 9:16, I would notice drastic differences in viewers, likes, all that stuff. And I don't know, Curtis, Steve, you don't post much on Instagram, but Ian, like, I don't know if you do either, but Curtis, I know we post as Audionautic. I don't know if you've noticed, or if you guys have posted, if you've noticed different metrics for the type of aspect ratio you're posting. And anyone in the chat, feel free to chime in, but I definitely have. And so they laid out 4 things to keep in mind when you're creating Reels to get in the recommendations. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. So first one is optimize your video content to be viewed full screen and vertically. This means using high resolution 9:16 vertical videos with no borders where text does not cover the majority of the screen. So right there, they're saying, yes, you'll be punished if you don't put a full vertical video. So if you're doing a square video, which a lot of people like to do, or the 16:9 video, you will not get on the recommendations. They also say, keep it short. In order to be recommended, your content has to be 90 seconds or less. That's the Reel metric. So Reels are up to 90 seconds. So the other videos that get posted, even though they'll post as a Reel, they won't count as a Reel to Instagram. They also say, make a good first impression. Pull the viewer in within the first 3 seconds and keep them interested the whole time. That's a bit subjective, I guess. I don't know. That seems like, I don't know how they actually wager that one, besides just watch time, I suppose. And the final one, they say, avoid visibly recycled content. Don't post Reels that are visibly from other apps, i.e. contain watermarks, or that are low quality. So this one's pretty easy.
Just fired at TikTok, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So you can export videos from another one onto it. And the thing that's kind of annoying about Reels is if you're making text-based, if you're putting text on Reels, if you were to follow this guideline, which is important, that means you have to do the text either individually per social media platform you're posting on, or you'd have to use one of these watermark removers that I've seen online, but I don't know. I've never used that. But yeah, I noticed, like, if I post an Instagram Reel to TikTok, it gets no views because it's got that IG thing. If I post a TikTok, something I made on TikTok and saved and post that to Instagram, I would assume from what they're saying, they will see that and not post it. I don't really use TikTok, so yeah, it's a... I mean, you're promoting another company, right? So of course these companies aren't going to like it. I haven't noticed an issue when I post Instagram ones onto YouTube Shorts, though. So
right.
There is that.
I mean, I'm surprised that you don't use TikTok, because I know how much you love people looking in on what your information is. Really
yeah, there's a whole lot of privacy issues that keep coming out with TikTok. Eon Lake always likes to talk about that, I know. But I just thought that was really interesting, because I've been trying to figure out, like, why they merged these things, but they weren't stating, like, oh yeah, if you're still posting normal videos, you know, you'll be on the Reels. They're just saying every video is a Reel now, but they're clearly stating in this guideline, like, hey, if you're not posting the proper Reel, you're not going to get on the search, you're not going to get on recommendations and all that stuff. And I feel like if you're trying to promote your music, you want to try to get on those things.
Can you guys share that link in
Yes.
the comments?
Yeah, yeah, and I'll go over the full
Wrong
thing.
way around.
Say again. You know
Went
that?
the wrong way around and use that.
Put it in the chat. I'll put it in the chat, and I'll put it in the Patreon group for you as well. do that now.
Yeah,
And
I
people-
think this is
people
huge.
really say, stop posting that TikTok crap on us.
Well, I think this goes back to what we were talking about in the round robin for me. I'm not doing a lot of reels yet, but if I'm going to be doing some video performances, I
Yeah.
might want to throw in a bunch of those reels out there. So,
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think I'm a ways out from that, but I'll take advantage of it.
We could
Just
put-
keep in mind, but I mean that's why you can tune in here. But Instagram changes their algorithms and all that stuff
Every week.
constantly. So I mean, these are the guidelines for now. They'll probably be similar later. But like I had mentioned,
Sunwarper.
yeah. But like I had mentioned before, they walked back all of these changes. There were even more, I guess, unspoken guidelines about reels and recommendations and things like that. And supposedly, I was watching one like what's it called, like IG coach or whatever, talking about ever since they walked back all of these new implementations of things, the algorithm has been a bit like off. So views in general have gone down for most people because they walked back all these massive changes, and so it's like taking time to get back to where it was, something like that. I don't know if that's true. That's what I heard, but anecdotally, I've noticed a difference. But I think the biggest thing is try to not post things that have borders on it. Like I made a reel recently that was 9:16, but then certain parts, because it was from a video I made for YouTube, I couldn't fit the circuit in 9:16, so I had to do a square part, and I noticed it didn't get as many views and stuff. And again, views aren't the biggest thing, but if you're trying to get out there, it is good to know these sorts of things.
It's all about aesthetic at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Screw talent. It's not about the musical
Oh,
integrity.
man.
It's about how things look.
Yeah, at least for the recommendations, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
You, I mean, you may choose to not pay attention to some of this stuff, but at least you'll be aware then of what the cost of that. the potential
Exactly.
cost of
It's
that
like
might be.
music. Know the
Yeah.
rules to break them.
Yeah.
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 Oh, yeah, that's the one way. There's one more piece, if I'm not mistaken, Sunwarper. There's no link though.
Which
There's
one
no
is
link.
it? Because I had
They're talking
posted a
about-
few.
There's this is artist playlists because
Oh yeah, well there was also the Magic Links affiliate, but I can talk about that next week. Just really quick, I was stoked. I recently got that This Is Sunwarper Spotify playlist, and I was just curious, like what are the metrics? And I can't find it anywhere online. They don't mention what the metrics are to get those editorial This Is Artist playlists. It's very interesting. One of the key things seems to be having 50 tracks or more, because every This Is blank artist playlist has 50 tracks. So I'm just curious, anybody in the chat, if they have a This Is their own playlist, like, have you noticed when you got it? Because, I mean, the only other thing that happened for me was I hit 700 followers on Spotify, but my streams have been relatively the same. So I don't know what it was.
700 seems quite arbitrary as well.
It
I
does,
reckon
yeah. It's not 500, it's not 1,000.
Yeah.
It's very
I
strange.
wonder if you're onto it. I mean, that's what it is. 50 tracks. If you've just hit 50 tracks.
I'd be curious to see, like, an artist with, not a ton of listeners and stuff with 50 tracks. Do they have a This Is playlist? Because I'm wondering if that's the only metric.
Sounds like propaganda to me. Sounds
Oh.
like Spotify is yanking your chain to make you feel like you're getting more plays so they can pay you less.
I mean,
Interesting. I love a good
maybe.
tinfoil hat theory.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know.
There's my cheer for the day.
Here's the
I
thing, though.
love
It
that.
counts as editorial streams, so it is good in terms of editorials are those big Spotify playlists. So I don't, if you're getting editorial streams, it may convince or may show the algorithm to go more. I don't know. It's just interesting. Like, what is it's just everything seemed arbitrary when it happened, other than having over 50 songs. So I'm just curious if anybody has any, notion as to what it is. Because I looked all over online and I can't find anything about it. It's like one of the great Spotify mysteries.
Oh, I love a good mystery. So yeah, that makes sense. We'd like
Let's
to know.
get Scooby-Doo and the gang on this
Yeah, there
one.
we go.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, but that actually, I did have a question for the chat. I was just curious. Do you listen, not the editorial playlist, but do you listen to other people's playlists on Spotify? Just a
I'd like to know. Well, as in,
curious question.
just to be clear, do you mean like other playlists of other artists or other?
No, like
playlist
the
artists make.
curators or what have you. Like if you make if like so and so makes a playlist, you listen to those playlists. Like the ones you can find on Submit Hub or Daily Playlists or Soundplate, anything like that.
Yeah.
Got people I know that make very good playlists that keep me busy.
Yeah, Andrew, well, first he said, agreed, good stuff about the Instagram, and David said, good info to know on Instagram. Yeah, I mean, I just like to keep up to date on all that stuff, but Andrew makes an incredible playlist. I listen to that all the time, but I'm just curious, people in the chat, if you listen to playlists on Spotify, and if you listen, do you make your own, or do you listen to others, curators?
I do, since I learnt from Sunwarper that if you're not on a mobile platform and you have a free Spotify account, you can still listen to stuff relatively normally.
Yeah, if you go on playlists, it doesn't have to be random.
But there's a lot of stuff that people I know curate that is really good that, beyond that, I don't have time to sort of seek out other stuff necessarily.
Yeah. I find it's a nice way to discover new music, though, like that I normally wouldn't listen to.
I do through other people, definitely.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, the biggest thing for me, I've been utilizing the radio quite a bit on Spotify.
Oh, yeah.
So I hit up an artist, and then I'll go, which is a playlist in its own right, but it will then tell you songs from it, and yeah, I mean, for me, that's a good way. Also, the Audionautic radio playlist I listen to quite a bit. That's not a plug. That's just genuinely like I just hit it up every so like at least twice a week to see what's going on. Because you do it somewhere, but you curate it, and then I
found so much new stuff from it because I check like our Audionautic release radar, my release radar, and just like other stuff from playlists and things like that. It's like, because I'm just trying to discover new music. I don't like being in a rut of like the same things all the time, so it's fun to do.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, that is 23 minutes past the second hour. Is there anything else that you'd like to bring up, Sunwarper?
No, that's it. I will cover that whole recommendations thing article next week. But if there's anything you all in the chat want me to look into, either Instagram, whatever have you, social media, streaming, let me know. I'll gladly look into it. But I like to stay up to date with all that stuff, and I want to keep you guys up to date. So yeah,
that's what we're here for. Thank you very much indeed. Hydrofire, is there anything you'd like to say before we close up shop today?
Yeah, I'm just happy to see everybody back together. Everybody, right? Sunwarper's other marriage. Right?
That's good. Before we go, really quick, in the chat, David says, don't do Spotify. Bandcamp is still the place, but I get recommendations through Instagram, forums, etc. Yeah, I mean, that's a great way to do it, too. There's definitely issues with Spotify that we talk about all the time, but it is just an easily accessible way to find a lot of music, at least for me and in my opinion. And then Andrew says, yes, for sure, he listens to playlists, also to discover new music from folks who I value their taste. Yeah.
Very nice. Ian Lake, any final words?
I listen to Apple Music a bit, you see. That's the other way I differ. But when I finish listening to something, it tends to like to carry on with things it thinks are sort of similar that you might like. And I let it run for a bit until it blows it. Blown it
blew
now.
it, Apple Music.
Yeah.
Program. But yeah, and I've stumbled across stuff a bit that way as well. Apart from I keep track of things on Mixcloud and everything as well.
Yeah. It's a way to go. So yeah, thank you very much for tuning in, guys. We appreciate the support and listening to the chat. We always love chatting to you in the chat and finding out what you think, because we know stuff, but we don't know much stuff. So I mean, so it's nice to hear what you guys think about stuff. I'll just say stuff one more time, shall I? So yeah, thank you very much indeed. We'll be back next week. Brand new Binary Stars on Saturday. If you want to see that, unless you're a patron, you can already see that, as I've said. But yeah, we'll be back next week with brand new stuff.
David said, "Lol, fail." That was a lot of stuff in one.
That's a lot of
sentence.
stuff. That's a lot of stuff. So yeah, more stuff next week, Jim. More stuff next week. Yeah. We'll go from there. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah. Until next time. Thanks for watching.